Hi everyone, this is Miss P, and today we're going to practice dividing fractions, specifically dividing a fraction by a mixed number. Let's try dividing a fraction by a mixed number using the example of 3/5 divided by 3 1/4. Whenever you have a division problem that includes a mixed number, you should convert that mixed number to an improper fraction, or a fraction greater than 1, before you begin to solve the problem. So let's rewrite this division problem as two fractions instead of a fraction and a mixed number. We can start by keeping 3/5 the same, and we're going to divide it by an improper fraction. So we're going to take 3 1/4 and convert it to the improper fraction form. And the way that we can do that is starting with the denominator of 4, we can multiply it by the whole number. 4 times 3 equals 12. And then we can add the numerator to that number, which is 12 plus 1 equals 13. And that becomes our new numerator. This is because when we're working with fourths, we're working with wholes that have been broken up into 4 parts. So if we have 3 wholes that have been broken up into 4 parts, we have to multiply 4 times those 3 wholes, which gives us 12 parts, and then add the 1 part that we had to begin with. That gives us 13 parts, and we are going to keep the denominator of 4 from the original number. Now, even though this is an improper fraction, we're working with a fraction divided by a fraction. Once we have that, we can go back to the strategy we can always use when dividing fractions, which is keep, change, flip. Let's start with the first part of the problem and keep 3/5. We can change the division operation to the opposite operation of multiplication. And then since we've changed the operation, we can flip the next fraction. So finding the reciprocal of 13/4, we switch the numerator and denominator and have a flipped fraction of 4/13. Now that we've completed those 3 steps, we can solve across. Numerators first, 3 times 4 equals 12. Then denominators, 5 times 13 equals 65. We should look at the fraction of 12/65 and determine if there's any common factors. In this case, there's not, so there's no way to simplify the fraction of 12/65. And so that becomes our final answer. We can take this and apply it up to our original problem of 3/5 divided by 3 1/4 and determine that our final answer is 12/65. Let's try these steps one more time using a different problem. 1/2 divided by 4 2/5. Again, we have a fraction divided by a mixed number. In order to divide these numbers more easily, we should make sure to convert both of them to fractions. 1/2 is already in fraction form, divided by our mixed number. To convert this into a fraction greater than 1, or an improper fraction, we should take our denominator of 5, multiply it by the whole number. 5 times 4 equals 20, and then add the numerator. 20 plus 2 equals 22. That gives us our new numerator, and we're going to keep the denominator of 5. Now we're working with 1/2 divided by 22/5. Now that we have 2 simple fractions, we can use our dividing fractions strategy of keep, change, flip. We'll start by keeping 1/2 the same. Next, we'll change the operation of division to the opposite operation of multiplication. And finally, we will flip the fraction of 22/5 into its reciprocal of 5/22. Now that we've completed all 3 steps, we can multiply across the fraction. The numerators, 1 times 5 equals 5, and the denominators, 2 times 22 equals 44. We have an answer of 5/44. We should look and think about whether there are any common factors between the numerator and denominator digits, 5 and 44. And since there are no common factors other than 1, we know that 5/54 is the most simplified version of that fraction. So we can take that answer and apply it to our original problem and determine that 1/2 divided by 4 2/5 equals 5/44. Remember, whenever you're dividing a fraction by a mixed number, it's easiest to take that mixed number and convert it into a fraction greater than 1, or an improper fraction, and then go through the steps for dividing fractions of keep, change, flip.